Good morning, dear students. I am Dr. Deepak Khurana, working as Associate Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of Satyug Darshan Institute of Engineering and Technology, Faridabad. I hope that you will be safe and healthy at your homes in this lockdown period. I am teaching IC engines as a subject in my college. Although online classes are going on, but still some students are saying to upload some important topics of IC engines. So let us have a topic today on finding the stoichiometric air-fuel ratio of a given fuel. We will start with the topic of what is the definition of stoichiometric air-fuel ratio, and then we will take the definition of rich mixture, lean mixture, and then we will find out the steps. What are the steps for finding the stoichiometric air-fuel ratio? And with an example for a given fuel, let us say methane, and we will find out the how to find out the stoichiometric air-fuel ratio. So let us start the topic. Our topic for today is stoichiometric air-fuel ratio. Let us understand what is stoichiometric air-fuel ratio and what is happening in IC engine. In IC engine, we are utilizing the chemical energy of the fuel for converting it into mechanical energy. And how we are doing that? First, the chemical energy of the fuel is converted to the piston power, which is called indicated power. And from that piston power, we are converting it through crankshaft into brake power. So our aim is to maximum conversion of fuel energy, which is chemical energy, into mechanical energy, which is brake power. So how we can do that? For that, we have to ensure that there is complete burning of the fuel. It means the prerequisite is to burn the fuel completely. And we know that for burning the fuel, air is required. So there must be sufficient air for complete burning of the fuel. The stoichiometric air-fuel ratio is that ratio in which there is sufficient air available for complete burning of the fuel. So what is stoichiometric air-fuel ratio? The ratio of air and fuel in which just enough air is available for complete burning of the fuel. Complete burning of the fuel. It means there is complete burning of the fuel and there is just enough air available so that fuel can be burned completely. So this is called stoichiometric air-fuel ratio. And in general, if we talk about petrol, what is stoichiometric air ratio? That is 15:1. This is the available data for petrol, right? And today in this lecture, we are going to find out how this ratio is obtained, how we obtain this ratio, like for petrol or any chemical compound, right? So this is a stoichiometric air-fuel ratio. Now, if this is stoichiometric air-fuel ratio, then if there is excess air available, what is that ratio called? And if there is less air available, what is that ratio called? So let us understand this. Another ratio is lean mixture or lean ratio. Lean mixture is that mixture in which there is excess air or excess oxygen is available, which is required for complete burning. So here excess air is available. And if we talk about petrol, this ratio is greater than 15:1. Higher ratio shows that the air quantity is higher and fuel quantity is low. As fuel quantity is low, there is fuel economy obtained with this ratio. Fuel economy, but lesser power. And what is the reverse of that? This is rich mixture. Rich mixture. Rich mixture is that mixture in which there is not sufficient quantity of air available. It means there will be incomplete combustion. So there is less amount of air. Less amount of air available. And if the quantity of air is less, it means the combustion is not complete. This is incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion. And if there is incomplete combustion, it means the emission level is very high. It means we are getting conversion of carbon into carbon monoxide, right? So we are getting carbon monoxide as emission. So we have learned about the stoichiometric air-fuel ratio, which is also called chemically correct mixture. Lean mixture, in which air quantity is higher, greater than 15:1, and rich mixture, in which air quantity is low, incomplete combustion is there. And if we talk about petrol, so for rich mixture, the ratio is less than 15:1. The ratio is less than 15:1. It means the air quantity is low compared to the fuel quantity. So let us now understand the steps for finding the air-fuel ratio, stoichiometric air-fuel ratio. Let us understand. So first of all, first step is write the equation. Write the equation for a given fuel. Write the equation for a given fuel. Suppose you have given with a fuel. Most of the cases these are hydrocarbon fuels, and hydrocarbon fuels when burned they give carbon dioxide when complete burning is there, and water vapors are there, right? So most of the cases, if hydrocarbon fuel is there, for hydrocarbon fuel the production are mainly CO2 and H2O. When there is complete burning of the fuel, when there is incomplete burning, carbon monoxide will be there, which is a poisonous gas. But for complete burning, CO2 and H2O will be there for a hydrocarbon fuel. Second step, so you have to write the equation first, then balance the equation. You have to balance the equation so that the number of moles of reactants and number of moles of the product are same, right? And third step, find mass of the fuel. What is the mass of the fuel for a given mole of the fuel, right? You have to convert that into mass, because we are going to find out the air-fuel ratio by mass, right? So you have to find the mass of the fuel. For that you will be needing the molecular mass of the fuel, right? Molecular mass of every component of the fuel, right? And then find the mass of oxygen required. When you balance that, after that you will find the mass of the fuel and then find the mass of the oxygen required. After that, but we have to find out the air fuel ratio, not oxygen fuel ratio. So for that given mass of oxygen, how much quantity of air is required, that you have to need to find out. So find mass of air for that quantity of oxygen. That quantity of oxygen. For given quantity of oxygen, which you have find out in fourth step, you have to find out what is the mass of air required, right? And what is the ratio of air in ratio of nitrogen and oxygen in a given air by mass. What is that ratio? That is 23:77. 23 is the mass of oxygen and 77 is the mass of nitrogen, right? So by this, using this equation, you have to find out the mass of air for a given quantity of oxygen. And then sixth step, just divide two things. You have to find out the mass of fuel, you have to find out the mass of air. Find air fuel ratio. So air fuel ratio will be written as mass of air upon mass of fuel. As simple as it is, right? So you can find out using these steps. So again, first step, write the equation. You have to write the equation firstly, then balance that equation, then find out the mass of the fuel, mass of the oxygen required, and then from that mass of the oxygen, find out the mass of the air required. What quantity of air will be there when this quantity of oxygen is there. And then again, in the last, find out the air-fuel ratio, mass of air upon mass of fuel. This is as simple as it is. So let us have an example. अब हम एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं और एक एग्जाम्पल लेके इसको सोल्व करने की कोशिश करते हैं. चलिए एक एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. कोई भी एक फ्यूल लेते हैं, सिंपल कैलकुलेशन वाला एक फ्यूल लेते हैं, मीथेन. सपोज वी वांट टू फाइंड आउट द स्टोइकोमेट्रिक एयर फ्यूल रेशियो ऑफ मीथेन. स्टोइकोमेट्रिक एयर फ्यूल रेशियो of methane, CH4. मीथेन केमिकल फार्मूला यू विल नो, CH4. मीथेन के लिए हम एयर फ्यूल रेशियो निकालना चाहते हैं, कंप्लीट बर्निंग, चाहे वो आईसी इंजन में यूज हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा. वी वांट दैट व्हाट इज द क्वांटिटी ऑफ एयर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर कंप्लीट बर्निंग ऑफ दिस मीथेन, राइट. सो पहला स्टेप वन की बात करते हैं. स्टेप बाय स्टेप चलते हैं. स्टेप 1, राइट द इक्वेशन. तो इक्वेशन लिखते हैं CH4. इसको बर्न करने के लिए ऑक्सीजन की रिक्वायरमेंट है, ऑक्सीजन. दैट विल गिव द प्रोडक्ट्स. कार्बन जब कंप्लीट बर्निंग होगी CO2 निकलेगा, हमने बताया था. CO2 प्लस हाइड्रोजन की जब कंप्लीट बर्निंग होगी, इट विल गिव द वाटर वेपर, H2. सो दिस इज द इक्वेशन which will be used for our calculation purpose, right. Step 2 क्या था? Balance the equation. Balance the equation. बैलेंस कर लेते हैं. एक तरफ रिएक्टेंट है हमारे, एक तरफ प्रोडक्ट है, तो दो पार्ट कर देते हैं इसके. What are the components in reactant side? There are carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Same components are there, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and we have to balance that. Balance करना चाह रहे हैं हम, right? So number of moles of carbon, number of moles of hydrogen, number of moles of oxygen on reactant side. कार्बन के कितने मोल हैं? 1 मोल है, तो we can write 1. हाइड्रोजन के कितने मोल हैं? यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं आप 4 मोल हैं, you can write 4. ऑक्सीजन के कितने मोल हैं? 2 मोल हैं, यू कैन राइट 2. प्रोडक्ट की बात करते हैं. प्रोडक्ट, दिस इज आवर प्रोडक्ट CO2 एंड H2. कार्बन के प्रोडक्ट कितने हैं? कार्बन के मोल 1 मोल है, यू कैन राइट 1. हाइड्रोजन के कितने मोल हैं? 2, यू कैन राइट 2. एंड नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ ऑक्सीजन 2 + 1 3, सो 3 मोल्स ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. कार्बन तो पहले ही बैलेंस है, कार्बन को बैलेंस छोड़ देते हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है. एक और चीज ध्यान रखनी है कि जब भी हम बैलेंस कर रहे हैं और किसी एक कंपोनेंट को अगर हमने बैलेंस किया है, किसी एक एलिमेंट को अगर बैलेंस किया है, तो दूसरे एलिमेंट को भी चेक कीजिए साथ के साथ, क्योंकि वो हो सकता है अनबैलेंस्ड हो गया हो, राइट. सो सपोज हाइड्रोजन के यहाँ पर मोल्स 4 हैं और यहाँ पर 2 है प्रोडक्ट साइड में, सो वी कैन मल्टीप्लाई 2 here so that 2H2O becomes 4 hydrogen moles, right. So here multiplied by 2, it will give 4 moles. So it is balanced now, balanced. But as I say कि दूसरे प्रोडक्ट्स को भी चेक कीजिए. कार्बन को चेक कीजिए, कार्बन अभी भी 1 है, यहाँ पर पहले भी 1 था, कार्बन डिस्टर्ब बिल्कुल भी नहीं हुआ है. ऑक्सीजन की बात करते हैं. ऑक्सीजन CO2 में 2 मोल है और 2H2O में भी 2 मोल है, तो 2 + 2 4 मोल्स आते हैं, राइट. सो नाउ इट इज 4 मोल्स. So now the condition is 1 carbon balanced, 4 hydrogen balanced, 2 oxygen and 4 oxygen unbalanced. So we have to balance that. 2 oxygen on reactant side, when we multiply it by 2, there are 2 and 2 multiplied by 2, 4 oxygens are there. 2 multiplied by 2, 4 oxygen. So now it is balanced, 4 and 4. So our equation is balanced now. So second step is complete now. Let us start with third step. Step 3. तीसरे स्टेप में क्या बताया था कि मोलिकुलर मास को यूज करते हुए बताना है आपको कितना मास फ्यूल का है, कितना मास ऑक्सीजन का है ना। सो मोलिकुलर मास पहले तो पता होना चाहिए, व्हाट इज द मोलिकुलर मास ऑफ ईच कंपोनेंट। मोलिकुलर मास कार्बन का कितना होता है, कार्बन का दिस इज 12 ग्राम पर मोल, हाइड्रोजन दिस इज 1 ग्राम पर मोल, एंड ऑक्सीजन this is 16 gram per mole, one atom of oxygen, right? So this is the molecular mass of each component, right? So कार्बन का मोलिकुलर मास 12 ग्राम पर मोल है, और यहाँ पर कितने मोल है CH4 के, दिस इज फ्यूल आवर, है ना, मोलिकुलर मास ऑफ फ्यूल। हम जो निकालना चाह रहे हैं मास ऑफ फ्यूल निकालना चाह रहे हैं, विच इज CH4, है ना। तो CH4 की अगर बात करें तो कार्बन के कितने मोल हैं, 1 मोल है, तो 1 मोल में कितने ग्राम कार्बन है, 12 ग्राम, राइट। सो 12 प्लस हाइड्रोजन के कितने मोल हैं, 4। 1 मोल में कितने ग्राम हाइड्रोजन है, 1 ग्राम, तो 4 मोल में कितने होंगे, 4 ग्राम, राइट। सो 4 into 1, so this will be equal to 16 gram. So this is the mass of fuel, 16 gram in a balanced equation, right? Now we want to find out mass of oxygen, ऑक्सीजन का मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन। ऑक्सीजन का मास कितना है, कैसे निकालेंगे, कितने मोल है ऑक्सीजन के, 4 मोल, राइट। सो दिस इज O2, 2O2 मींस 4 मोल्स, राइट। सो 4 मोल्स, और 1 मोल में कितने ग्राम ऑक्सीजन होती है, 16 ग्राम, तो 4 मोल में कितनी होगी, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 16, तो 64 ग्राम। सो मास ऑफ ऑक्सीजन is 64 gram. We have obtained the mass of fuel as 16 gram, mass of oxygen 64 gram. It means that for burning 16 gram of methane, we require 64 gram of oxygen. But we want, what is the quantity of air required? What is the mass of air? So next step, finding mass of air, finding mass of air, and we know that for air, if the 100% air is available, out of this 23% is oxygen and 77% is nitrogen, or we can say otherwise that in 23 gram of oxygen the 100 gram air is required. If you have 23 gram of oxygen, it means the air availability will be 100 gram, right? We are writing reverse condition, right? So what is 1 gram of oxygen, how much quantity of air will be required, 100 by 23. And for 64 gram of oxygen, what quantity of air will be required, for 64 gram of oxygen, so 100 by 23 multiplied by 64. This much quantity of air will be required for 64 gram of oxygen, and this will come out to be 278.26 gram. So we have calculated the mass of air. This is 278.26 gram. So this is equation number 3. So we have calculated the mass of fuel, mass of oxygen, and mass of air, right? And next step, we want air fuel ratio. Air fuel ratio. So we can divide the mass of air with mass of fuel, and we will get the air fuel ratio. Just dividing by the two things. 278.26 divided by 16. So this will nearly come out to be 17.4. So air fuel ratio for methane is 17.4 is to 1. So this is the air fuel ratio for methane. This is your answer for methane. Let us have one more example for isooctane. How to calculate the air fuel ratio for isooctane. So let us find out the air fuel ratio for isooctane. H18. This is isooctane. Stoichiometric air fuel ratio for isooctane, right? So step 1, write the equation. So C8H18 plus oxygen, it will give out to be CO2 for complete burning, CO2 plus H2O. So we know that for complete burning, this isooctane, which is a hydrocarbon fuel, when react with oxygen, it will give CO2 and H2O, right? Second step, balance the equation. Let us balance the equation. Divide the chamber into two parts. Here they are reactants, here they are products. What are the reactants? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Products, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. How many moles are there for carbon? 8 moles in reactant. These are 8 moles. How many moles are there for hydrogen? 18. And for oxygen, 2. In product, how many moles are there for carbon? 1. Hydrogen, 2. Oxygen, 2 in CO2 and 1 in H2O. 2 plus 1, this is 3. Right? And we have to balance that. So first of all, try to balance the carbon. There are 8 moles of carbon in reactant side and 1 mole of carbon in product side. So multiply with 8. When you multiply CO2 with 8, there will be 8 carbon. So multiplied with 8, there will be 8 carbon in reactant and product. So it is balanced now. But check the other products also. What is the condition of hydrogen? Hydrogen is 2 and again 2. There is no change in the hydrogen. Oxygen, they are 16, 8 to 16 plus 1. 17 oxygen are there. So this is now 17. So now in product there are 17 mole of oxygen. Now try to balance the hydrogen. There are 18 hydrogen moles are there in reactant, and in product there are 2. Multiply with 9, this will be 18. So multiplied with 9, this will be 18. Hydrogen is balanced now, both sides. But what is the effect on oxygen? There are 8 to 16 plus 9. Now there is 25 oxygen are there. 25. 9 in H2 and 16 in CO2. Right? So there are 2 moles in reactant and 25 moles in product of oxygen. Right? So we can write here 25 by 2 so that this becomes 25. So it is multiplied by 25 by 2 so that it will become 25. So 25 moles are there on reactant side and 25 moles are there on product side. So it is balanced now. So this is balanced equation now. This is balanced equation. C8H18 plus 25 by 2 O2, 8 CO2 plus 9 H2O. This is balanced equation now. Right. So what is third step? What is third step? Find out the mass of fuel and mass of oxygen. So third step is find out the mass of fuel. Mass of fuel, MF. And what is fuel? Our fuel is C8H18. C8H18. And you know the molecular mass? Molecular mass of carbon, this is 12 gram per mole. Hydrogen, this is 1 gram per mole. And oxygen, 16 gram per mole. Right? So here there are 8 moles of carbon, and for 1 mole of carbon the mass of carbon is 12 gram. So as for 8 moles there will be 8 multiplied by 12 plus 18 moles of hydrogen are there, multiplied by 18 multiplied by 1. So this will be equal to how much it will come out? It will come out to be 114 gram. You can solve it, you will find out the mass of fuel, that is 114 gram. Right? What is the next step? What is the next step? Find out the mass of oxygen. Mass of oxygen. Oxygen is 25 by 2 into O2. So mass of oxygen is 25 by 2 O2. So this will give out to be 25 by 2 multiplied by O2. Means the 25 by 2 into O2 will be 2 into 16. So 25 into 16. So this will come out to be how much it will come out to be? This will be 400 kg, 400 grams. So mass of oxygen is 400 gram. So this we have found. So mass of fuel we have found out, mass of oxygen we have found out. Now we want to find out the mass of air. Fifth step is mass of air. What will the mass of air? Mass of air in a given quantity. So we know in 100 gram of air there is 23 gram of oxygen and 77 gram of nitrogen, right? Or we can say in 23 gram of oxygen the air required is 100 gram. So in 1 gram of oxygen how much air will be required? 100 by 23, and the oxygen quantity is 400 gram. So for 400 gram of oxygen, how much air will be required? That will be multiplied by 400. So this will come out to be 1739 gram. Mass of air is 1739 gram. This is second question, suppose. We want to find out air fuel ratio. Air fuel ratio means mass of air upon mass of fuel. We know mass of air 1739, mass of fuel 114. So this will come out to be nearly 15.25. 15.25. So the air fuel ratio for isooctane is 15.25 is to 1. So this is the air fuel ratio for isooctane. So dear students, I hope that you understand the concept of finding the stoichiometric air fuel ratio for a given fuel to be used in IC engine. So I am giving you a homework for finding the stoichiometric air fuel ratio. Find the stoichiometric air fuel ratio for a butane. The chemical formula for butane is C4H10. Try to solve this question and give me your feedback. Thank you. Have a good day.